Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to episode 127 of the Jesus Enrique Rosas Show. We are live through YouTube, Rumble, and on the X. And if everything goes right, you will be able to enjoy this podcast or show, whatever you want to call it, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts as well. We are ready to begin. Remember that the easiest way to support my channel, my videos, my shenanigans here on the airwaves of the internet is to just like and subscribe wherever you're watching this from. It's that easy. There's no easier way to do that. And every single one of these shows, it's 100% live. There's no AI involved in this. And yes, I will be keeping an eye on your comments, so make sure to write those witty, interesting, fascinating, hilarious. You know that all your comments are always fascinating to me. And if I keep an eye on spot one comment that is amazing, I will highlight your comment. Also, super chats and super stickers are welcome on YouTube. There's my email in the description of this video as well. If you want to reach out with any tip or thing happening in the world that you want me to cover, we're going to go. Let's go through the topics that we will be talking about today. We need to talk about the Epstein files and have been 100% dumped already. Okay, so that's going to be interesting, and the meltdown is even worse. That is maybe the not so great part. We're going to talk about a video of Michael Jordan doing something to a kid. Okay, we're going to do a body language analysis to try to guess what was going on in there. Hillary Clinton and Obama are, I don't know, backtracking. They are backpedaling. They're doing this whole 180. They're spinning around on place, absolutely betraying their fan base. I don't know how this... I do know what is the strategy behind this, and that's what I'm going to explain in this section. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez mentioned a few things. She tried to talk about China. She tried to talk about Venezuela. She tried to talk about, the world. And she failed in every single step. So we are going to address that, especially the way that she absolutely self-owned. What's a self-owned, right? That is the expression that fits here. Last but not least, we will be talking about Meghan. Meghan sent me Meghan sent me a cease and desist letter, and the cease and desist letter was to cease and desist from ignoring her. So I should include her in my show, and that's what I'm doing. So it's a joke, of course, but I'm going to include her because, well, of reasons. They were mentioned in the Epstein files, by the way. And, of course, you have requested me to take a look at that last video by Savannah Guthrie about the disappearance of her mother, Nancy Guthrie, which we are arriving at 2 weeks. 2 weeks Nancy Guthrie had been completely disappeared. No clues, no suspects, and something that let's say that the authorities are doing that are quite stupid. I will be mentioning that. Remember that every single one of these topics, I'm going to send them to my 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know how many YouTube channels do I have here. You want to know how many channels do we have on YouTube? Check the description of this video. You will find the Body Language Guy channel. You will find the Power Pundit channel. That is my American politics channel. You will find the Royal Rogue channel, which is my Royals and non-Royals as well channel. And most important, you will be able to enjoy this show in its entirety if you want, or you will be able to enjoy the topics as standalone videos and share them with your family and friends. So that we're ready to begin. We are ready to begin right now, and we need to, let's say, address something that happened with the Chelsea football players completely ignoring children waiting to see them. I mean, this could be a body language analysis in itself. This could be a body language analysis in itself because it's despicable how these football players that they seem that to be really entitled, they just walked past these kids who were eagerly waiting for them, and they just ignore them completely. I mean, how hard-hearted, how much of an asshole do you have to be to do this? And this is what happened. You see that I'm gonna play this. I don't think that sound is necessary. You see the players showing up. You see how you see the faces. You see the faces of the kids. This is the most this hardening thing of what happened here. This kid was really excited of watching his heroes right up close, which I should have a word or two about that. Which is, I think at that age, that's okay, right? You like superheroes, you like football players, you like, basketball players. It's something that you look up to. It's something natural when you're a kid, all right? When you're an adult, well, that's another different story, like in this case. But, okay, nice. They're your favorite football players going around, but then are completely ignoring. Look the excitement of this kid is really stoked, and the others are starting to realize that there's something bit maybe wrong in here, and he even has the time to hug this lady. I think it's a lady. Yes, it's a lady, and the kids were perhaps a bit disappointed. I don't know, but it would have been how many seconds you think that they could have taken from their, I don't know, their stroll, their walk, is not even acknowledging them. It's like they do not exist. I mean, we're saying that, okay, maybe they are in a rush, which they don't look like they are in a rush whatsoever. But it's not only that, it's completely ignoring something. And this is the kind of things that not one of them, which brings me to the question, how does this happen that not one of these arseholes can even acknowledge the children? And I can imagine that there must be adults, fans of this morons out there. Oh, you know what? I don't know. They don't have to greet the children or whatsoever, or they already greeted the children. Okay, let's say that it's not in their contract to do that, or maybe they already had greeted the children. I don't know, minutes ago, or maybe a quarter, 15 minutes ago. Let's say that. Let's play devil's advocate. What was the problem with just acknowledging the existence of the kids? It's like a nod. Hey, how? You keep walking. You don't have to stop. Just, hey, you extend your hand and, yeah, just, hey, let's do this. Yeah, thanks for being here. Nice. Right, the energy. Nothing whatsoever. There's absolutely no way to defend this. There's no context that you can throw at me and say, the body language guy is wrong in this one because there was no reason for this man to do anything, greet these kids in any way. And you would be wrong. And you would be as much of an asshole as this man. So I just wanted to call them out. I just wanted to highlight that this is horrendous from every single perspective that you could have. There's indefensible, and I can imagine that they're going to do this. You know what they're going to do? They're going to have this press conference. They're going to see, oh, we didn't notice that the kids were there. They're going to call the kids again. They're going to give them a gift basket. They're gonna take pictures with them, and they're going to put that on the Chelsea Instagram to make sure to save face. But the only reason that they're going to do that, I'm 100% sure that that's what's going to happen, is because they were caught being the assholes they are. But it's that simple. So that doesn't count. It counts when you behave the same way if there's important people around, there's not important people around, because you can acknowledge. I'm not saying that you have to stop for the kids and just hang out with them and talk to them, although it could be a nice idea. How much can that take? Like 20 seconds? Are you 20 seconds in too much of trouble? Can't you just extend your hand and, oh yeah, wow, just have that same energy that you saw this kid? I mean, you have to see this kid. Is this one. The one in the middle who was doing those jumps, that energy. Those are your fans, you morons, the one who pay to watch you play. And this is how you treat them? No, this is not. Yeah, they are not real, man. They're absolutely not real, man. And I agree with you, Lady Beer Baiter. Well, not real, man. You at least you can acknowledge them. But the problem is that, again, yeah, that's how you spot true gentlemen, the ones who behave exactly the same with everyone, exactly the same if their camera's rolling or not. Remember that is the single easiest way to know if somebody is legit. And this man are gonna do the whole thing, the whole press conference stuff. That's going to be all empty. They will still be assholes. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. Yeah, this is the kind of things that I don't like about this sort of entitled people, because again, I'm pretty sure that when they were little, they were fans of players themselves, and they wanted to have, I don't know, a shirt signed. They wanted to meet their heroes, and then they are in the same spot where their heroes back then, and all of them act like this. I said I have to call them out. I had to call them out because, yeah, it was not really a body language analysis, but it was an analysis at the same time. It was a behavior analysis. A behavior analysis like the next one. Let's say that this is not a body language analysis, but it's a behavior analysis. And we need to acknowledge the fact that the Department of Justice, over the weekend, Pam Bondi said, you know what? I am tired of all this thing. I am tired of the whole Epstein thing. I'm going to release it all. And Pam Bondi decided to unleash the Kraken this past weekend, and she just released everything. Everything besides, of course, the redacted names of the victims and anything that still is being processed by any grand juries. That is. So it's important to understand. Big shout out to Eddie Doherty, who was always is on point. Attorney General Pam Bondi just announced that the DOJ has released all Epstein files under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, has justified redactions and listed high-profile names that appear in the files. No records were withheld or redacted on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity, including to any government official, public figure, or foreign dignitary. Epstein has backfired on the left. Multiple powerful Democrats have been exposed, and Trump has been vindicated. Again, we need to remember that the people working at the Department of Justice are still human, and, well, we're talking about millions of files, and when they have received reports that some people that shouldn't have been redacted were redacted, or vice versa, they have fixed whatever was in that dump, and in the dump of these files. So that's one thing. The other thing that we need to address is the fact that people are up in arms saying that now Pam Bondi is lying, that these are some accounts out there are claiming without absolutely no base or proof or anything that this is not even 2% of the Epstein files. And okay, I guess they have some kind of proof to back that up, because I don't know, otherwise I don't know what to tell you. So you can have it both ways. I think that I trust what the Trump administration is doing about the Epstein files, because you know that Trump was the whistleblower of Epstein in the first place, and he helped get Epstein behind bars back then in 2009, and he over all these administrations he was the one who is blowing the lid of all this. And there's still all this claim that he was protecting his friends or something like that. I think that many people are still trying to frame Trump in some way over this, and saying that he is some sort of PDF file or something, even if you see all the evidence both inside the Epstein files and in the process around Epstein prove otherwise. But the misinformation and the disinformation and the flat-out lies are out there, and I would say we can't do anything about that. The most that I myself can do is try to highlight that, releasing the Epstein files, normies were not ready for this. And I say normies maybe in a despective way. That's like most people, the general public. And I know that the general public doesn't watch my show because, I am not a tabloid or sensationalist or something like that. But it's like this, is that they release a list of names that appear in the Epstein files that, of course, let's say that, how to say this? There are some names here that are a bit strange, such as, all right, not De Niro, I mean Diana, Princess of Wales. The question is, under which context Diana, Princess of Wales was mentioned in the Epstein files? We have no context whatsoever here. And I guess that even if we had access to the email, we would need more context. But you know how it works nowadays. You just need a headline, a title that says, Lady Di was mentioned in the Epstein files. She was found in the Epstein files, and everybody's going to jump to the conclusions that she was to eating babies, of course, and drinking the blood of, I don't know, children, something like that. And that's what they're going to come up with. They're going to insert, and I don't know, an image of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II with half reptilian, and said that maybe Diana tried to get out of the club, and that's why, the monarchy got herself killed. You know that they're going to do that. That is the easiest way to get 1,000 clicks, 10,000 clicks, 1 million views nowadays. Who else is in this list? Who else is in this list? Let's say, oh my God. Oh my God, that was a good run. Not for Jill Biden, but for Jeff Bezos. Up to this point, we thought that Jeff Bezos was not in the Epstein files. And again, we have no idea unless we check the Epstein files under which circumstances was Bezos mentioned here. Is he half reptilian, eating babies as well? I don't know. What? Pam Bondi herself. Pam Bondi herself is mentioned in the Epstein files. Some are saying, I don't know. I don't see him here, but it's like, oh my, this is actually shocking. This is actually shocking. Jeffrey Epstein was mentioned in the Epstein files. This is breaking news. Jeffrey Epstein found in the Epstein files. Is this some kind of Inception conspiracy? Yeah, you can. I could make a channel like that. I have but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the Fidel Castro. Noam Chomsky. Okay, we already knew about Noam Chomsky. Dan Bongino's in the Epstein files. We knew it. That's why he quit the FBI. Who else? Well, Tony Blair. Yeah, I was about to say something that was going to get me in trouble. That's the problem to have in these live shows. I was about to say something about Tony Blair. I better shut my mouth right now. Let's say here. Somebody noticed that Elvis Presley was in this list as well. I think this only goes up to the J. I think this is like missing some names besides the J. Michael Jackson is in there. Not so many people have asked me, by the way, when am I going to do a video about Leaving Neverland, all that. I always thought that Michael Jackson was, in fact, innocent of those accusations. I mean, I did the complete, absolute, in-depth investigation of the whole thing. There was so much information that I could never organize the whole thing. But it was my conclusion. I've told you a couple times over the years that I believe that Michael Jackson was innocent of all those claims. Who else is in here? I don't know. Oh, Bill Gates is a classic. We know. Bill Cosby or Bill Clinton. Who else? Chair. All right. And just one. That's okay. This one. Crimes against humanity, and I'm not talking about the Epstein files. I'm talking about some songs. Although mysterious ways, I still love that song. I still and Discotheque is a song of them. You too, right? As well. No, I am not in the Epstein files. I'm absolutely free from the Epstein files. I should have some kind of certification. Maybe at some point, somebody, that I watch a video of the body language guy and poof, the body language guy is on the Epstein file. Jesus Enrique Rosas also eats babies and drinks the blood of, of children under full moon and etc. He once hanging out with, Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne said that Jesus was odd, was strange. Yeah, that's the problem about this. That is the problem about this. The people were not ready, and that's the issue behind things like what Ro Khanna did last week, in which he named this 6-man redacted in the Epstein files. And everybody thought that, okay, maybe the DOJ is protecting some PDF files. But no, he came forward to say, I appreciate J. Sweet Eli's reporting confirming today that Salvatore Nuara, Surab Melaza, were just part of a photo lineup and are not connected to Epstein's crimes. 4 of those 6 men had nothing to do with any sort of crimes of Epstein. But Ro Khanna and Thomas Macy made sure to portray them as if they were, they were eating babies. And that's what is implied. Okay, the DOJ, Trump was protecting them for some reason. What is that reason? That's the problem. The general public was not ready for this release. The general public was not ready for this release. And the amount, I cannot simply count the amount of disinformation out there. There's an account based in Africa. You can see the location on X that claims that Ellen DeGeneres literally ate children. And it has like 100 million views. And again, I used to be a fan of Ellen, like, 40 years ago, something like that, or 30 years ago. Right now, I'm not going to defend Ellen for anything, but at the same time, I would like to see in which part of the Epstein files, what is the proof that she was doing this. And the thing is that people don't like the proof. They just want to read the horrific headlines and just dismiss any sort of proof of anything. Again, I am not defending anyone in here, absolutely anyone. By the way, Harry and Meghan are in the Epstein files. I mentioned that, and I'm going to mention that late. And then I said, what kind of sick joke is this? You go on the House floor and expose these guys as pedos without doing your due diligence first? And Ivy Marie, what the hell did they think would happen when you rush something like this? This is what everybody warned would happen. Most people in those files are innocent. Jeffrey Epstein had two sides. One his perverted side, one was his business persona. Those two are butt buddies, and let's say it is retarded. That is the problem. That was the problem. So, oh my God, this is what you get when people simply cannot bother to process what is out there. But again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss. And I have another example coming of a mental retardation that I'm going to share with you right now. I'm going to drink a little water. Let me see some questions here. See your comments. I'm gonna ask you for 1 minute. I want to check here 1 second. Yeah, I had to check something in the chat. Everything is right. I need to create the music for, please stand by. It could be me just going through that song. I forgot the name to that song. I want to talk about mental retardation in a minute, but first I want to mention as well that I was going to talk about this article that I wrote on X that is now sitting at 1.25 million views, in which I give you the ironclad proof that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. And you can imagine the amount of deranged people who have attacked me without no arguments whatsoever, of course, over this piece. I have had more insults and attacks from this piece than I think in the whole 2025. I had all the attacks that I had on 2025, and this was in 12 hours. I got way more insults because of this. I'm going to make a video about this because I wrote this article to literally prove that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk from critical thinking. Let's use logic in here, and yeah, my logic is unbreakable. You can call me names. You can say that I'm, I don't know, a Zionist scum, that I'm being paid $7,000, that I'm I don't know, siding with the deep state. They got to me, whatever. I will still be right. And I'm still right. I said that I did this because I had so many Candace Owens fans that all of them are retarded. I'm going to prove that in a second. Telling me that what kind of proof did they have that Tyler Robinson? What is the proof that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk? And I decided, you know what? I am tired. I took 2 days off over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and said, you know what? I'm going to dedicate my one of these afternoons to put my case forward. Okay, you want evidence. You want the facts. Okay, let's go with the facts and let's go with the logic. So I encourage you that whenever you stumble upon maybe could be a conspiracy head or a Candace Owens fan, which there are aplenty out there, you can go to my X account, copy this one, bookmark this, and just reply them with this. And if they skip complaining, well, that's on them. But now I want to kind of prove how retarded are Candace Owens fans, because this is important to get this, in perspective. Now, first, Candace Owens is very disingenuous. We know that already. I already made a video in which I said very politely that I did not trust Candace Owens because she was operating in bad faith. That was quite some months ago. And no, right now I already know that she is just plain evil. All right? I have been reacting to basically how she has been ramping up her nonsense. And right now, we can agree, if you have half a brain, that she is outright evil. And disingenuous. Disingenuous because of what? Because she posted this yesterday, not to be awkward, but regarding your instruction that we should watch Charlie's old content to see how he felt. One of the early actions his wife took, Erica, as the new CEO, was to have all of the Charlie Kirk Show episodes removed from Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. And she conveniently did not mention Rumble. And big shout out to Chris Pavlovsky, CEO of Rumble, because Rumble is literally the main hub, the main channel, the main site where Charlie Kirk had and still has the Charlie Kirk Show. And you can see every single show from the past right in there has not been deleted. What they did was being live on Rumble and then re-upload clips of the show on YouTube. And even the guy who, let's say, was in charge of the YouTube maintenance came forward and say, hey, you're being disingenuous. This is a lie. All right? And she had to fold. Candace Owens folded and say, all right, so then why was it removed from Apple and Spotify? And I checked on Apple, and I realized that it lists 752 episodes, but I guess that for memory reasons, the episodes beyond the number 100 do not physically appear, because usually people don't go to, in terms of podcasts, you don't go to podcasts, I don't know, beyond 100. Maybe that's the way that Apple Podcasts work. But what Candace Owens is trying to convey is that this was some kind of, trying to delete the story, the history of Charlie Kirk's show, which is a lie. And she, very conveniently, did not mention Rumble. And then, like clockwork, I got this comment. I'm sorry, Melanie, I forgot to hide your face, and I forgot to hide your name and your user. I'm going to say that Melanie underscore B reached out to me and replied, she didn't mention Rumble. She replied this to my quote of Candace Owens not mentioning Rumble. I mean, let that sink in. Candace Owens doesn't mention Rumble. I call out Candace Owens for being disingenuous. And Melanie B, who obviously is a Candace Owens fan, she says she didn't mention Rumble. This is the level of IQ that we are dealing with. I think it was George Carlin, please correct me if I'm wrong, that remembered that you needed to imagine the average IQ of people and remember that half of the population is dumber than that. I was looking at this and I said that these people cannot be real. But they are real. And you know what's worse? They vote. And their vote is It is the same value as yours, equals the same vote as yours. That should not be a thing. That is where democracy should die. We should have, I don't know, a world monarchy or something like that. That's why democracy would never work if people like this vote. And this is as retarded as it gets. And there's still people trying to defend this. Who watches Rumble anyway? People watches YouTube. And that's when you realize these people never cared about Charlie Kirk. These mommy sleuths never cared about Charlie Kirk because they don't know. They don't even know that Charlie Kirk's show, it's live through Rumble. They don't know that. They never care about Charlie. And shout out to Gary Melton from Paramount Tactical. We were kind of discussing if these people were paid bots or not. And I realized when I began to check the people who are pushing for this, you see that they have no mentions of Charlie Kirk whatsoever. Like before maybe October or maybe December of last year. They did not care about Charlie Kirk before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. They only care because of the conspiracies. They only care because of it is nice to see Turning Point be destroyed. Again, it is nice to see all that because that's how this kind of personalities operate. Since their lives are miserable, they cannot construct or build anything. They cannot come up with anything themselves. All they can do is try to bring down something that other people have built. That is the sad reality of their lives. That's all that their mitochondria can come up with. They are this net negative to humanity, and we have to deal with that. Because we are Christians, I guess. But again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language Guy. Much love and bliss. And I did not make a topic out of this one, but I wanted to talk about that. These people are just plain retarded, and I absolutely says. Excuse me, Jesus, I caught shows on Spotify Premium, like YouTube. I wouldn't want to watch Erika or Turning Point on anything, and what even is Rumble? And I don't know. It's IX Tracy. I'm going to highlight your comment. Okay, you, IX Tracy, okay. This is very simple. That is like the skit, this Ricky Gervais skit, in which you have a bike shop, okay, that puts up a billboard. I'm going to highlight your comment again, just so people can't see it. And it puts a number for somebody or anyone who is interested on a bike. And the first call is Twitter is like receiving calls that say, I don't want to buy any sort of bike. I don't want to rent or buy bikes. Then why are you calling? And then it's like, okay, your complaint is literally like Megan complaining about online bullying. You just grab the laptop and very slowly close the lid. Or maybe, just maybe, you don't have to close the lid. You open the lid. Let's be destructive with this one. I'm gonna leave your comment in there because your comment absolutely needs to be exposed for what it is. You close the tab. You go to Twitter and mute the words Turning Point, TPUSA, Erika Kirk. You can go all the way and mute the word Erika. That's your solution. That's all you have to do. But I know that I have the idea that you won't do that. The same reason why I know that Megan would never close the laptop or close the tab or not look at the comments on the things talking about her. because you like it. It's a morbid curiosity. You can't help it. You say that you don't want to read or know or watch anything about Erica. You know you can mute that. Then why did you mention that? You commented. I had to reply to your comment. This comes from someone who is concerned about the mental health of my following, of my body language buddies. If you feel like you don't want to watch something, you know that you are not forced to watch it. But well, to its own. Again, it's like that's anyone's guess. So again, it's like I don't know. It's like I mentioning, I going to and commenting that I don't want to watch something on Twitter. I don't know. I find it a bit asinine. So I guess bringing attention to something that I don't want to watch is a bit strange, just a bit strange. But again, well, to each its own. Something that, in fact, I try to explain. There are some behaviors that are explainable, but there are some behaviors that are more or less unexplainable, like this one from Michael Jordan, who was, let's say, caught. Basically, I'm not going to say what he was doing to this kid. I'm going to let you judge for yourself by watching the clip. What was Michael Jordan doing here? So I don't want to describe anything unless you see it for yourself. And I want to make my videos as listenable as possible, but still you need to stop whatever you're doing and watch this. You see that Michael Jordan was right behind this kid. There it is, the man, the myth, the legend. And this kid was right next, I think it was some NASCAR event. Okay, and Michael Jordan reached out, and what the actual F? I'm going to play this in real time. I'm going to play it in real time so you can explain to me. If you have some sort of explanation, I would love to. And I try to find some kind of explaining to this Michael Jordan first in a pinching motion of this kid's butt, and then of a kind of brushing or I don't know how to say, I don't know what it would be the word, what he's doing with his fingers to the kid's legs. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I have no idea. There were people trying to explain this in the replies. I think that kid was thinking the same thing, like WTF is going on? Holy F, that's weird, even if they know each other. I don't know if Michael Jordan and the kid know each other, and if they did, even if they did, that would look awkward. Daniel Ray, what in the hell, not Michael Jordan too? I think that nobody's safe. Artificial intelligence, no wonder why he lays low so often. Yikes. Michael Jordan is acting like Joe Biden. Yeah, with the hairy legs. And you do not touch someone else's child, especially in this day and age. No, I think that the first line was enough. You do not touch someone else's child. And the only thing as close to an explanation that I could get, it's very sad. I don't know, maybe you will laugh, maybe you will find it sad, maybe you find it disgusting, but Retard Chef said, even though he's a billionaire, Michael Jordan is still an uncle. And uncles do weird, out-of-touch stuff. Not everything has to be a conspiracy. All right, man. Tell me where your uncle touched you. That was my first thought. Cold member, you bit me to it. It's nice when victims speak out. Thanks for that, Retard Chef. I hope you heal from your trauma soon. I'm sorry your uncle did this to you. Yeah, the Retard Chef, you have some things to tell your therapist. Oh my God, this is Prince of Tides stuff. And yeah, again, I'm going to go back here and try to give my own take. Even if they knew each other, even if this was, I don't know, your how do you say that? If Michael Jordan was this kid's godfather or something, or uncle or something, I'm going to describe exactly what I see here. Please, YouTube, do not ban me. What is? He's pinching the kid's ass. What? Did this? People were saying, "Oh, he's just pulling. He's just pulling the kid's shirt." No, he's not just pulling the kid's shirt. Give me a break. Oh, he noticed that he was wearing his shorts. This is the logo of Michael Jordan. So the shorts are Michael Jordan's brand. Maybe he noticed that, although I can't imagine how could Michael Jordan from that angle notice that those were his shorts. And why would he begin to pinch the kid's arse that way? That is what? And why would he do this? Begin, yeah, kind of fondling the kid's legs. Oh my God, YouTube is absolutely going to... well, I have a question for you. I have an answer for you. Li5, okay. Li5, why isn't the kid reacting? Because what are you expecting? He doesn't know what is going on. He doesn't know what is going on. Again, maybe, let's say, what are the scenarios here? They know each other. Hey, let's say, oh, the kid is not reacting, but it's old Uncle Mike doing things to him. Hey, let's see that is the scenario. That is still wrong. That is still wrong. Oh, yeah, the fact that the kid is not reacting is because, yeah, they know each other, and yeah, it's tickling. Again, there's no way nobody can defend this shit. Nobody can defend this. What is this? I don't know, but the same as the Chelsea football players, I'm pretty sure that Michael Jordan or his representative or somebody is going to do a press conference. I hope that there is Michael Jordan himself very soon explaining this. Because anyway, I see no way. I see absolutely zero way of explaining this. We know that context is so important in body language, because context can be the difference between, oh, somebody is crossing their arms because they are upset, or somebody's crossing their arms because they are cold. No, there's no context. There is no context, at least that any sane person could come up with, that makes this acceptable. No, sorry. This is not something that anybody should do to a kid. But again, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. Yeah, that was weird as F. I don't know. No. That was nothing short of disgusting. I was nothing short of disgusting. Michael Jordan, stop it. Get some help. If you remember that campaign, that the meme of Michael Jordan telling people, stop it. Get some help. Yeah, it was on point. On point. Yeah, back up right before he does it. His face is sort of weird. I thought that it was, I don't know. I think that he was looking at some other person and had this strange, strange nod to another person. Can't imagine what that means, because we can't possibly know what other person he was looking at. And I did not want to frame it as Jordan, like nodding to another person and say, hey, see what I'm about to do, because that would be me making up things. I am not going to make up things. I'm just going to look at the gesture, at what Jordan is doing, effectively doing, and not have this other narrative that there was this co-conspirator next to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan wanted to prove that he could get away by grabbing some kid's ass or nothing like that. That would be making things up. That would be Mike Tyson mode activated in me. What a nightmare to have this happen to a kid in a public place. Yeah, this is completely unacceptable. And again, many times kids are not going to react. You think that kids are going to react like adults. Kids are not adults. Kids may freeze. Kids may laugh. Kids are not going to understand what is going on, and they won't process it as something that is worthy of a massive reaction. But us as adults, we know as adults that is not something that you do. So that's why, well, I hope that he has a very good explanation to that, which I'm pretty sure that he won't have it. He won't have it. And we need more explanations. We have, how was this, Ricky Ricardo that said, we need to have some explaining to do about this behavior from Hillary Clinton and Obama, because nobody can understand how Hillary Clinton and Obama are making this kind of 180 with everything that they have been peddling for so long. You know, that they have been against Trump and had this pushing for this Trump derangement syndrome and saying that, that what Trump is doing to immigrants is despicable. But it turns out that right now, I forgot to generate some subtitles here. Right now, both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, for some reason, they are becoming moderate to the point that we could say that they're betraying their fan base. Because, yeah, Hillary Clinton, in the clip that you're about to watch, says literally that immigration was this failed thing, that is a net negative to society. And yes, this was from 24 hours ago. And I'm going to explain why is this happening.
I think we need to call it for what it is.
Secretary
There
Clinton.
is a legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far. It's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed in a humane way with secure borders that don't torture and kill people.
There you have it. Hillary said that herself. What is going on? I have an idea. I have an idea, and Virginia has to do with it. Monterey County Republican Party. Yeah, immigration went too far. We need secure borders and strong families. Yeah, this is what they're doing. They know that the numbers are not good for the midterms. They know that they have to change the narrative urgently, and that's what Hillary and Barack are doing. And also Hillary Clinton. More people were deported under my husband and Barack Obama than were in the first Trump term or this first year or of Trump's second term. What is going on? What is happening?
More people were deported under my husband and Barack Obama without killing American citizens and without putting children into detention camps than were in the first Trump term or this first year.
I would like to have some community notes with the cages and detention camps for the kids under the Obama administration. I'm pretty sure that people already know that Hillary is lying, but she is somehow bragging that the deportations under her husband and Obama were way more efficient. So she is also acknowledging that Biden essentially opened the border and created a crisis. Yeah, they are saying this, and you can imagine that, let's say, their base, Democrats, liberals, the woke herd are a bit confused, as in, what what is going on? So we should refrain from going to protests pro-immigrant against ICE or something. Oh no, it's because the way that Donald Trump is doing it is wrong. He's killing people. I mean, 2 people. That is the count. Just 2 people. And we know under which circumstances, because those 2 people were domestic terrorists, confirmed domestic terrorists. And yeah, they provoked law enforcement more than once. So statistically, that's a death wish. That's basically a death wish. So you got what you wanted.
Of Trump's second term. So I think it's important.
And applause, and people applauding. Okay, so yeah. And what happens in 9 years ago? Thanks, Svetlana Lokova, for this clip. What was Hillary saying back then? Oh my God.
To just be grossly generalistic.
What was she saying about Trump's fans, by the way?
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that. And he has lifted them up. He has given voice to their websites.
So I guess that Hillary is xenophobic right now because she's saying that immigration has gone out of control. What happened to that speech from Billie Eilish at the Grammys? I think was at the Grammys, that nobody is illegal on stolen land. What happened to that? Oh, they had to. They were very silent about that. I have to remind you that was the plan all along, thanks to Liberty Train. The Cloward Piven strategy is a political strategy outlined in 1966 by American sociologists and political activists Richard Cloward and Francis Fox Piven. It was unfettered immigration, and I'm not going to elaborate on this right now because I made a video on my Body Language Guy channel aptly named How Governments Use Illegal Immigration to Control You. If you want to understand, this is 20 minutes long, but I tell you, let's say the whole thing, how does it works, how it works in the UK, how they wanted it to work in the United States and they almost got away with it, how they use illegal immigration to control you. All these governments, that is basically, they want to create chaos via the unfettered immigration, and via the chaos, then the population in general would not be able to organize themselves against the government. They will be basically fighting themselves and the Abroadians and everyone else. So that is the strategy. And what about Obama? Obama has his own takes that are, let's say, he's got liberals scratching their heads in a big way. Now, Obama breaks with Gavin Newsom. Oh, you remember that Gavin Newsom was at some point the candidate? Oh, the one who was polling the best, and now the one who is polling the best is Kamala Harris. Kamala, I forgot how to say her name. Sorry, I apologize. Names are important for me. Kamala Harris is the one polling the best for 2028. Let that sink in. Kamala Harris. Gavin Newsom in second place, and Gavin Newsom is going to poll even lower after, well, people realize that Barry is throwing him under the bus. Homeless encampments in California must go. We should recognize that the average person doesn't want to have to navigate around a tent city in the middle of downtown LA. That's a losing political strategy. And that also applies for, New York City's Zohran Mamdani. No, see, they are eating themselves. They are destroying themselves, and I'm here for it.
The same would be true, let's say, here in Los Angeles around the homeless issue. I think morally, ethically speaking, it is an atrocity that in a country this wealthy, we have people just on the streets.
A lot of those people who are on the streets and they are not in, in special housing or in places that they can have food and shelter is because they want to get high. They are junkies. So again, you're being disingenuous about it's not that the country is wealthy, it's that these people just want to get high.
And we should have we should insist on policies that recognize their full humanity, people who are houseless, and be able to provide them the help and resources that they need.
The help and the resources is there. The help and the resources is there. They won't leave the homeless encampments because of the aforementioned reasons.
But we should also recognize that the average person, doesn't want to have to navigate around a tent city in the middle of downtown.
You're being I don't know what be racist or what. I don't know. There should be a word for being anti-homeless tents people.
And that we're not going to be able to build a working majority and support for the resources that we need to help folks like that, whether it's drug treatment or temporary housing or what have you. We're not going to be able to generate support for it if we simply say, you know what, it's not their fault, and so they should be able to do whatever they want, because that's a losing political strategy.
I don't know. That is a clip that I'm going to play many times in the following years.
You know what? It's not their fault, and so they should be able to do whatever they want.
It's like they should be able to do whatever they want. And yeah, that's when you find out why they don't move to shelters, they don't move to places that they can, I don't know, do something, be protected from the environment, be protected from, I don't know, all the insecurity out there. It's because, yes, they want to. They want to get high. They want to use drugs as much as they want. I'm not saying that every single homeless person is like that, but statistically is usually precisely because the United States, and especially California, is so wealthy that it's not a problem about if they are their resources to this. It's more of a problem that, of behavior. So there's that. Maybe they can change drug laws, but I don't know. Obama now says Democrats need to stop their virtue signaling. There was a virtue signaling that made it seem as if ordinary folks did not say things in exactly the right way or meet this litmus test, that they were being chastised. All right, so maybe the left would stop canceling people because Barry now says this. I mean, this is our huge 180s that they are doing.
We did turn off. I think there was a certain way of talking about issues for Democrats where we sounded like scolds. And I've said this before. There was a virtue signaling that made it seem as if ordinary folks, if they did not say things in exactly the right way or meet this litmus test, that they were being chastised, pushed away. And the truth is, most of us, all of us, are complicated, and we have blind spots, and sometimes we say dumb stuff, and if you want to create an environment that is welcoming and makes people feel, okay, there's room for me here, then the message and the story we tell has to be, all right, none of us are perfect. All of us count. We all...
That's a bit of a word salad. He's trying to get away with a word salad.
All have good in us that we can...
I'm going to cut you off, Barry. You're boring. You're boring. Obama, the other side does the mean, angry, exclusive, us-them divisive politics. That's their home court. Our court is coming together. He really said that. I am not going to play that clip. I'm not going to bother in playing that clip. Again, on the left, Obama parrots thanks Western Lensman for this montage. Obama parrots the ICE use kids as bait hoax, because that's a hoax. And right, Obama says he doesn't want Democrats to start lying and having no regard for the truth the way Republicans do. So he's lying. At the same time, he doesn't want Democrats to lie. That's the thing that we are dealing with. We have been dealing with this for some time. Remember, Kamala
Federal agents, ICE agents, were being deployed without any clear guidelines, training, pulling people off, out of their homes, using 5-year-olds to try to
bait their parents.
All the stuff that we saw. I don't want us to have a slash and burn strategy where we don't care about rule of law. We don't care about some of the guardrails around our democracy. We start lying and having no regard for the truth the way the other side seems to be comfortable with right now.
Yeah, I am not going to elaborate on this. We know what, I'm not going to say that every Republican doesn't lie. No, that doesn't happen, but we know all the lies that these people have been pushing. He also mentioned something about aliens actually existing. People were up in arms over this clip, but it was, he later clarified that he was saying that, that we should have some kind of, I don't know, other people in the other beings in the universe and that, but he was really not talking about Area 51 or anything. I don't know. I think it was a nothing burger. But again, I would like to know, what do you think about this 180 in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss. And yes, I did not mention much of the aliens thing. Maybe we can maybe we can watch that just in case, if you're interested. See, because at the same time, I'm going to play this, just an extra for you. Because at the same time, Brian Tyler Cohen asks Obama if aliens are real. Obama says yes, and imagine that you have a former president of the United States for an interview. He says yes to this question, and you don't do any follow-up questions. I mean, I am not a journalist. I could be one of the most inexperienced interviewers out there, even if I did radio interviews back in the day. And even I would know that a question such as that would absolutely require a follow-up. What kind of aliens are you talking about? And this was the exchange.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
That's it. Okay. He said, "Aliens real? They're real."
Real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Then what makes you think that they are real? What you have not seen them? What makes you think that they are real? What makes you think that they are real? That would have been the follow-up question. So nothing out of the ordinary in Obama's usual evasive body language. And then he clarified the alien thing afterwards. I was trying to stick with the spirit of the speed round, but since it's gotten attention, let me clarify. Statistically, the universe is so vast that the odds are good there's life out there. It's something that I agree with Barack Obama. You can, again, you might not like somebody, but there's always something that you're going to agree with. I agree with his statement. But the distances between solar systems are so great that the chances we've been visited by aliens is low, and I saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials have made contact with us. Really? Look, the Fermi paradox, that's the thing. That's what happens. The universe is so huge that maybe unless wormholes or warp drive exists, physics that we still cannot comprehend, then we simply cannot even visit the closest star, that is Alpha Centauri. which is 4.7 million light years away from us. I think, if I remember correctly, which is, in universe terms, is basically in our backyard, and that's the reason. But I absolutely think that there must be aliens out there, and but so far away that we can't stay in touch, and maybe it's for the better. Maybe it's for the better. If people go bananas, insane with the Epstein files, imagine people finding out that they are aliens. It would be a collective meltdown. Maybe these aliens can transcend time and space. Maybe they know that, I don't know, normies can't even have the minimum of critical thinking, as we have seen with the Epstein files, with Candace Owens fans and all the stuff, and say, you know what, if we just appear, the collective meltdown is going to destroy the world, all world societies. So it's better to keep in hiding. It's better to keep in hiding. See? Jesus, you can't say bananas after talking about Obama. That is why. Why can't I? What are you implying? What are you implying? What are you implying? Oh yeah, I believe that God created the universe. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about my beliefs. I think that my beliefs, as I've told you many times, are very unique. I have my own model of a belief. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in a guided evolution. It's not everything that just appeared like that. I believe in a guided evolution, like this master designer. God was a master designer, and he is guiding evolution. And some more thing. Maybe one day I would just create a video and just dump everything that the way that I make sense of the world, so not to go insane. That is the way that I have and not go insane. But again, I don't like to talk about those topics because what is the purpose of my channel? The purpose of my channel is to have thinking tools to apply, so you can use the thinking tools in your daily life. Okay, if I talk about what I believe, I would be like pushing. Even if I'm not pushing for you to believe what I believe, it would be sort of pushing my beliefs into my audience, something that I don't want to do. At some point, I've tried to maybe see the people are in trouble. People fall in despair and they think that life has no point. Sometimes they reach out to me by email. I tell them, well, maybe I believe this, maybe this can make you feel better. But that is on a case-by-case basis. I think that has to be something very personal to every person. And oh my God, is that time of the show? We need to talk about AOC. We need to talk about AOC. What I say? We need to talk about AOC. We cannot delay this anymore. And it's time to talk about AOC and the fact that she has exposed herself as, let's say, somebody who is not very bright. And you might have to say, oh, but that was a long time ago. But right now, I have two questions about this, because she said that Venezuela, in a very despective way, she said that Trump shouldn't have done what he did to Venezuela just because Venezuela is below the equator. And I would want to know, what did she mean by this? But let's watch the clip. And another clip that her brain just froze, glitched with China's economy. AOC, shout out to Western Lensman, by the way. The U.S. shouldn't engage in actions like the one against Maduro just because Venezuela is below the equator. Venezuela, where I come from, is not below the equator. And even if it was, what do you mean by that?
You know, we look at what happened in Venezuela, for example. It is not a it is not a remark on who Maduro was as a leader. He canceled elections. He was an anti-democratic leader. That doesn't mean that we can kidnap a head of state and engage in acts of war just because the nation is below the equator.
All right. You see that she said that.
And
she got a round of applause because I guess that her audience is as dim-witted as she is. And then I asked the question, legit question, leaving aside the geography fumble, that again anyone can have anyone can have a geography fumble. Not gonna blame anyone for that. What do you think AOC implied when she said the words below the equator? As in, what does she imply about countries that are actually below the equator? I got a couple answers here, and I would like to keep an eye on your comments as well. J.E. May, big shout out to J.E. May. She implies all countries below the equator are brown and poor and underdeveloped. Yeah, that's what it how it sounded to me, and was offensive. Gabby Siegel, she seems to imply the countries below the equator are lesser. Yes, that's again, that's how it sounded to me. And yes, as JB, that is also right here, one of our mods, applause for her stupidity. Yeah, people applaud stupidity because if they can't tell the difference, I wouldn't say that they're gonna applaud because of the equator thing, but they don't realize what are they really applauding for. And this is also that she says that whiteness is imaginary. Whiteness is imaginary. How does that work? Okay.
there's a very big difference between whiteness and national, like your actual culture, right? Whiteness is an imaginary thing. Being German is real. Being Italian is real. Being English. These are rich cultural heritages that are based on values, and they are so much a part of what make our cultures and our societies what they are.
So yeah, whiteness is imaginary. Whiteness is not real. It's like I remember when I got called like I was a white Latino, and what is that? I don't know if feel offended or what, because being a white Latino, what is that exactly? Also, AOC slams Rubio's. Marco Rubio gave a great speech, by the way. She slams Rubio's pro-West speech and calls for class-based internationalism instead. Class-based? Okay, that sounds very Marxist, in fact.
You are starting to see the ascent of the right, even in places like Munich. Marco Rubio's speech was a pure appeal to Western culture.
And she did the quotation marks with her fingers, as in Western culture is not a thing. You said that, maybe you were doing something else while you were listening to me, but she said Western culture, and she did quotation marks with her fingers, as in Western culture is imaginary as well.
My favorite part was when he said that American cowboys came from Spain.
I thought they came from Winnetou, but
I believe the Mexicans and descendants of African enslaved peoples would like to have a word on that.
Yeah, it's again, it would be really useful. I mean, there are many ways. There's so many ways to look like you know what you're talking about without knowing what you're talking about. And you either know what you're talking about, or you try to pass as somebody who knows what you're talking about. Okay, you have only those two options. The third option is to shut your mouth. Obviously, AOC doesn't have the credentials for the first option, doesn't have the smarts for the second option, and doesn't have the self-awareness to keep her mouth shut. So this is what happens then.
But, I think it's also important to note how thin that foundation is.
It's thin. Maybe it's another foundation where we could talk about her and, well, her IQ baseline.
Culture is changing. Culture always changed. Culture for the entire history of human civilization has been a fluid, evolving thing that is a response to the conditions that we live in. And so they want to take this mantle of culture. At the end of the day, though, it is very thin. And so the response that we have to have is, again, it's material, it's class-based, it's common interest. There was certainly more openness to what I was saying than probably there would be in years past. We can't underestimate the appeal of going back to these well-worn grooves.
I mean, I understand every single word. I understand every single sentence. I kind of understand the meaning of every sentence, but I don't know what she's talking about. That is the exact definition of a word salad. Like, you understand everything that she's saying, but you have no idea what she's talking about. That's when you know it's a word salad. She's trying to pass off as smart, and since the audience, most likely, you have a distributed audience in which half of them are below average, then maybe those are the ones who begin clapping as soon as she... Maybe they clap because she stops talking. Maybe they know more than we do.
A lot of what we talk about when we talk about a class-based internationalist perspective also means ending the hypocrisy towards the global South.
The global South, all right. You were the one dismissing countries below the equator, so I don't know if you thought that that was a win. But the clip that I wanted you to watch, it was really interesting, is the, Larry O'Connor says, this is the Hindenburg crashing into the Titanic at Chernobyl. Well, you have to watch this for yourself. The question and the answer.
Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is this is, of course, a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
What AOC is leaving after that very uncomfortable pause is that, in fact, the act of kidnapping, quote-unquote, Maduro and beginning the normalization of Venezuela as an actual country and not the narco-dictatorship and narco-tyranny that we wear, is that precisely that is one of the moves that the Trump administration made so that China could not secure the resources in terms of oil to be able to move towards Taiwan. I mean, anyone who has barely been following, maybe passingly, on geopolitics has reached the same conclusion, because it is no secret the relationship in terms of oil between Venezuela, or the corrupt government that is crumbling, thanks to Donald Trump again, and China. And if you sever that relationship the same way that you have severed that relationship with Cuba, which is of the brink of collapse as well, and you sever that relationship with Russia as well, as in China and Russia no longer see Venezuela as, the value that they used to have, and they no longer have interest in entering a conflict with the United States, and you realize the actual answer to AOC's question is, yeah, what Trump did with Venezuela was the right move. Maybe she glitched. I want to give her a pass. I want to believe that she has this just bit of awareness that precisely that was what happened. And saying these words, she had to be really careful to not say anything good about Trump, because that is in her policy. She can't say that Trump has done anything right at all. Doesn't matter what. This is her tragedy. It would be really easier to say, okay, I acknowledge that the fact that what is happening in Venezuela right now will prevent that. No, maybe she can't even make that connection. Maybe she doesn't even read the news. Maybe she doesn't even understand what something about geopolitics pops up on her timeline. And still, you remember if Jasmine Crockett is a representative, if Ilskam Omar is a representative, then, well, that's why AOC has her seat. That's what you can be in America. You can be a total moron, a total retard, and still be in the House of Representatives. That's great. Brandon Straka, AOC, what we are seeking is a return to a rules-based order that eliminates the hypocrisies around when too often in the West we look the other way for inconvenient populations and act out these paradoxes. What?
I think what
I need to watch this.
we identify is that in a rules-based order, hypocrisy is vulnerability. And so I think what we are seeking is a return to a rules-based order that eliminates the hypocrisies around when too often in the West we look the other way for inconvenient populations to act out these paradoxes.
Yes. Again, I understood every word she said. I understood the sentences. I sort of understood the meaning of those sentences, but I have no idea what she's talking about. If you have an idea, you have the opportunity in the comments to maybe give me some lights about that, and I would really appreciate that. Maybe that would help me improve my English and my understanding. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language Guy. Much love and bliss. Yeah, that was a hard one to understand. Me not speak English. She speaks English. She speaks English, but the issue is the substance. That is like I'm gonna say when it's not like sometimes I run out of substance. But when I want to explain a point, the criticism that I get sometimes is that I go over the point twice and even sometimes 3 times. And it's like I want everyone to understand the point, and sometimes you don't get it the first time. Maybe you have at least to listen to it a second time to get it. Maybe a second time you will get it. And that would be much easier for anybody. That is the way that I approach things, and I try to explain things in the first pass in the best way possible, so that I don't have to repeat myself. But sometimes happen that I have to repeat myself. But it is time. It is time. We need to talk about Meghan. Meghan was worried that I hadn't mentioned her again in my shows. I was talking about Andrew. I was talking about other things, but not talking about Meghan. And Meghan, this is Meghan finally. This is Meghan's face at Montecito finally tune into the Battle Language Guy show. And afterwards, reposted on the Royal Rogue, where you might be watching this after my show. She's so happy that I'm mentioning her again, and of course I'm going to mention how Harry looks so miserable when he's next to her versus when, well, he is greeting anyone else. I think that we don't need any sound here. Shout out to the one and only Harris gray suit for two people who whine constantly about how the media has made their lives miserable. Look how they're light up with happiness when they see the camera. Or at least Meghan. At least Meghan. And that's when you see Meghan and Harry at NBA All-Star. And you see that Harry has that deer in headlights stare, which has not changed at all. I mean, you see that it hasn't changed, as in, what? He has that what face that is basically Harry's trademark. I think that he should trademark that face. It's so important so nobody copies. You know that with all the risks nowadays, we see AI copying Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. I think that Harry should trademark his what face. And Meghan, so happy, so much for the privacy tour. Hey, hello again. But the thing is that people are even more concerned about Harry's body language talking to this guy. We're saying that this, I don't know who he is, but you see that Harry had his hand to chest. Maybe that is a Muslim gesture as well. That was odd. And Harry was leaning a bit towards the guy. You see that the guy is totally straight, has an upright posture, and Harry was a bit, let's say, hunching towards the guy. Maybe it was he felt comfortable, and he was also doing this sort of. That Harry sometimes looks awkward. In this case, raising his shoulders, like flinching, but he was not flinching. He was just joking to this guy. Notice Harry's face. Notice Harry's face. Yeah, some people are gonna say, "Oh, he was talking to this dude." And when Harry's talking to a dude, whether it's Nacho or any other man, he has this puppy face. Oh, this is happy puppy face. He's so enjoying the moment with this guy, and notice how his shoulders. He's also excited to be able to interact with another human being, because those days enclosed, imprisoned at Montecito's basement, all by himself. Printing all those jam labels, that could be that can get to you. And when he finally gets to interact with people outside the basement, he's so happy. He feels so happy because of that. And the dude is very polite. He touches Harry's arm, which is a rather polite gesture. Very manly. Nothing to see here. And Harry does the hand on heart, as in, thank you for liberating from my misery, even for a few seconds. I have to bear with Meghan for all the game. Thank you for making me stand up and having the opportunity to talk to another human being. You are so kind. Thank you. That's okay, bro. That's okay. And you see that Harry still has that happiness in his face, and he realizes, oh my God, has to go back to reality. Has to go back to reality. There you have it. Harry going back to reality. Harry wants to go home. But where is Harry's home? We have not defined that already. I don't know if he can go to the UK. I don't know if he can call the UK home anymore. That is Harry's conundrum. That is Harry's tragedy, and I couldn't care less about his tragedy. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Harry. Just kiss him. No, maybe they had some kind of kiss cam. But no, so Harry was going back to reality with Meghan. And that's when you see that Meghan was smiling. Harry, well... Again, you see his face. Harry, his smile is gone. forever again. Harry's smile. It's like the Joker, right? In The Dark Knight when he does the magic trick with the pencil and it's gone. Harry's smile is gone. Oh my God. You think Harry regrets Meghan? Yeah, I think that he has regrets. He has regrets with many things in his life. Maybe he has not realized he has regrets with Meghan. He has some pacifying gestures there, holding and touching his left hand with his right hand. Is hunching and is hunching, leaning away from Meghan, as in why don't you? Maybe he is going to rest on the seat afterwards. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I forgot my Harry. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's uncomfortable. Meghan is talking to someone. Harry is not impressed. Harry turns to Meghan. Meghan tries to do, public display of affection. How Meghan was looking. I'm going to say something nice about Meghan. Meghan was looking nice. I think only because we have this heavy, low quality filter. But no, Meghan was looking nice. Her hair looked nice. Sometimes I can say nice things about Meghan. Why not? And Meghan was in this date night out with Harry, and Harry was so rude. Oh, Harry, how could you? Harry, please react, smile. Smile to the camera, you mofo, or I'm going to shut you down on the basement for 2 weeks straight. And Harry said, I don't want to go to the basement, Mama. I don't want to go to the basement, Mommy. I don't want to. Oh, I have to smile for the cameras. All right, I'd smile. Yes. Oh, Now I know I have to smile for the cameras. Oh, it's what Meghan was saying. Smile because they are right now pointed at us, you moron. Go ahead. He micro shook his head. Yeah. Yes, Meghan is more in love with the camera than with Harry. Hi. Meghan was pressing those teeth. There's more teeth in here, like a dog fight. All right. Oh yeah, you do you. And yes. And well, they are in the Epstein files, and I wanted to mention this because it literally doesn't mean anything. People are making something out of nothing about so many people in the Epstein files just because they are there. Oh, it means that Meghan and Harry eat babies. No, it doesn't mean that Meghan and Harry eat babies. Nothing of the sort. But so much for the Sausage Squad saying that William or Catherine, such and such, this and this, and guests who do not appear in the Epstein files. Yeah, that's right. Neither William or Catherine appear on the Epstein files. Again, the fact that Meghan and Harry appear in there doesn't mean anything, but it's a way of that the squad can't say anything. At least also have this. Shout out to Naomi Sky 15. As per Neil Sean, Epstein's main goal when traveling to the UK was to get a picture with the future King Charles and his heir, Prince William. I wouldn't doubt this from a second. But that Epstein wanted to collect photos with all the powerful people in the world. Epstein got annoyed with Sarah and cut off the money when her promise to get him a photo with William failed. Wouldn't be surprised. That absolutely sounds like a thing. Yeah, there's this Marilyn Monroe is also in the Epstein files. Elvis Presley. So again, anything goes. I would like to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss. Yeah, that Marilyn Monroe reference was odd to say the least. Let me go back to the picture that I posted I think she was on those. No, it was not. It was not in that first page, but the second page, the one with the articles, it was right there. See page 5 or 6. Okay, I forgot to show you this one. It's like this. It's like, oh, the Pope John Paul II was eating babies. Elvis Presley was eating babies. Adrenochrome, I knew it. No, it's we have so many people in here. There's so many people in here. Let me see. You mentioned Marilyn Monroe. Where is that? Monroe Marilyn right here. All right. So we have so many people in here that, again, this can mean anything. This can mean anything. As in, we know that Donald Trump was mentioned in the files close to 38,000 times. And let's round up to 40,000 times, but we know Barbara Streisand. Oh my God, Barbara Streisand. I have to look for that. I have to look for that one. Bruce Springsteen. Okay. Ben Shapiro. What, Ben? What are you doing? You too. So many people. Marco Rubio. No, Marco. No, not you. Not you, man. Not you eating babies as well. Again, this is people. Diana Ross. What the F? No. No, please. No, let me see. AOC is in there. Gavin Newsom. Oh, what? This is shocking. This is shocking. But stop the press. Ghislaine Maxwell was mentioned in the Epstein files. That is absolutely shocking to me. Nancy. No, Netanyahu is here. I knew that he was mentioned. Who else? I don't know. Edward Snowden. I knew it. Edward Snowden as well. Edward Snowden as well. I mean, yeah, it's see, that's what we got. That's what we got. We need to move on to. Oh my God! I thought that today was going to be a show, but we are here, and it was not a short show at all. We need to talk about last topic of today. Last topic. No, it's at least we do know that Mickey Mouse was not in the Epstein Island or the Epstein files, but Mickey Mouse. Or I think that there's already they have their own thing in Disney itself. In Disney itself, John Lennon is on the list. Is John Lennon there? I didn't see him. Oh, I don't see him here. Maybe, I don't know, it's another page. I don't know. But, well, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about the fact that 2 weeks in, we still don't know where Nancy Guthrie is, the mother of Savannah Guthrie. This disappearance has been wild by so many circumstances that don't fit. People at first they were saying, okay, why is so much brouhaha, so much scandal over this? And so many people disappear all the time. Yeah, but they usually appear. The people know what happened to them in less than 48 hours. But when this was 3, 4, 5 days, then we know that something was wrong. In fact, among the things that have happened in the last 48 hours, FBI and PCSD officials covering a Range Rover and apparent investigation continues. Things that were happening, we don't know what do they mean. Laura Loomer, oh boy, police in Tucson just put a tarp over a Range Rover in a parking lot after they opened it up. What did they find inside of the back of the Range Rover that they want to hide from cameras? Not good. And Savannah issued a fourth video already about, basically calling for anyone who has Nancy in captivity to please release her. And again, this is heartbreaking. I want to show you this because this is really heartbreaking. I think that nobody should be going through this like ever.
I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone.
She is addressing whoever has her mother, that you are not lost or alone. She's trying to empathize with her captors.
And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And we believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
Yeah, that was, again, heartbreaking. As some of you have mentioned, a new glove was found. I think it was new glove found. I'm going to mention something about what's happening with this investigation that you're not going to believe this. But this is something that is actually happening. They have found like 16 gloves already. And every time they find a stray glove that kind of matches what they have seen, that there's this strange people prowling at night in all these houses around Nancy's, let's say in a radius of 6 to 7 miles around Nancy's house, has been happening for many weeks. They begin finding gloves. And they know that the suspect that appeared on camera had gloves. So they sent these gloves for, tests and stuff. But there's something that is almost comical. I don't want to say that word because this is an actual tragedy, but this is something that is actually happening. Law enforcement officers are out there, of course, trying to find clues and stuff about the case and any sort of evidence about the case. Anything that can lead them to Nancy Guthrie's whereabouts, or that anybody who can know about her. And these law enforcement officers are using gloves. And they have, of course, as many gloves in case that they have to dispose of them. And one thing that is ridiculous by this point is that there are law enforcement officers that use their gloves and then they just throw them away in the wild. And then what happens? That another law enforcement officer stumbles upon the discarded glove by the first law enforcement officer and say, "Hey, a glove! That is a clue." And they get the glove discarded by another officer. And it is like they have been feeding themselves in this cycle. I mean, I am not making this up. These people are just realizing this. And I haven't yet to understand why days after this happened, you still saw that people could access Nancy Guthrie's porch just like that. I mean, there was even a pizza guy who went right up to Nancy Guthrie's house to deliver a pizza for the reporters who were outside. Somebody asked for a pizza and gave the address of Nancy Guthrie, and the pizza guy went directly No, this doesn't have anything to do with Pizzagate, as far as I know, of course. But no, it's proven that even anyone could just go on and make a mess of the scene. Even if by this point they should have all the clues that they should need. But I don't know. This has been a complete mess. The investigation has been a complete mess. I think that they did not think it was as had not the how would you say this, was not that dangerous, didn't have the gravity, or was as grave as, I don't know how to say that, was not as important. Oh, maybe this can solve itself at any time, they're going to find. No, nobody thought that this was going to drag for so long and this way. Yeah, there was really sloppy. There was a really, really sloppy of the way that they have been managing this, and should be a complete nightmare for Savannah and for her brother and sister. But again, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. I will keep covering this on my Crime Corner channel. The crime scene was ruined by law enforcement. Yeah, that was what happened already. So I have little doubts that, few doubts that's what actually happened. Okay, let's see that if I can read your super chats, and we are good to go for today. I say that why I can't see. I didn't have my glasses. Sheriff more into his image, and news reporters. Yeah, the sheriff is not looking good as well. Looks really incompetent. But again, super chats. Let me see your super chats. Lee of Monaco, thank you for speaking out for little kids and love from all of us. Thank you, Lee of Monaco. Thank you for coming here to my show. Jada Zab as well. AOC, she needs to be called out on her word salad and ignorance in the moment. Yeah, most likely. It's at the same time, I would like AOC to be part of that ticket for 2028. I want the Democrat ticket for 2028 to be Kamala Harris and AOC. That would be just perfection. But, well, maybe one has wishes. One can only dream. But again, my bottom language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the bottom language guy. Until we meet tomorrow on episode 128, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.